We are back with Chris, our demonologist for Q2 Paranormal, and we're going to talk about one of his favorite places, the 1800s Boys Reformatory. Hopefully you guys will be able to see the photo I'm about to share. Chris, can you see that photo?
I see nothing.
There
it comes.
What about now? All right, so go ahead. I talked briefly about the Boys Reformatory, so we'll let Chris take it over because this is one of his favorite places. Go ahead.
Yeah, this reformatory was built in the 1800s, started out as a tuberculosis hospital, and then turned into a boys reformatory, where boys around the town were teased about, almost like a dog catcher, but they said that the guards would go around and pick up boys that didn't behave themselves. And so everybody in the town knew the place.
Wow. So what would you say was your most memorable thing that happened at the reformatory? We did have a live feed going on. We had fans monitoring a highly active room upstairs. So what's your most memorable thing about when we were investigating that?
Probably when you and Michaela were in the other room, and I was snapping pictures, and right after I snapped the picture that caught the face in the headless shadow in the bathroom, I started walking back toward you guys in the other room, and I heard something that sounded like a marble being thrown.
And later on that night, you actually found a marble, a green marble. Right, it was a green marble, yes. And at the time we didn't know. Go ahead.
And the green marbles, after the investigation, we come to find out that the green marbles were a type of spirit communication.
Yeah, and that kind of blew our mind once we found that out.
Sure did.
This place. So I was telling the audience. Yes. So I was telling the audience that psychically we picked up on little children and a nurse and a groundskeeper, I believe. What are your thoughts on that?
The children was a definite. There was no doubt we picked up children. The nurse, we definitely picked up on downstairs. And the groundskeeper, I'm not sure if it was a groundskeeper or a guard. I'm undecided on that we picked up on.
Well, the first night I picked him up with like a sickle type knife, and then the next night he told me he was a groundskeeper. So I'm not sure, but that's what I got. That would explain the knife, I think.
Yeah, I would agree. The only thing that gets me is what was going on upstairs. The man that was keeping the kids pinned in that bedroom to the right. Well, I wouldn't say a bedroom, but that's what it is, but multiple kids slept in there.
Yeah, I picked up that he was just intimidating them with that sickle-type knife that he had, and he was keeping them huddled up in that. All right, guys, that's what we're talking about now. The movie called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, or Everywhere, Everything.
Everything, Everywhere, All.
Yes, and it has Michelle Yeoh, which I am a big martial arts fan. And Chris is too, I believe. And I just love Michelle Yeoh. She's one of my favorites. So I had no idea when I decided to watch this movie how funny it was going to be. It was really funny. And it also it touches on the subject of the multiverse.
Gives you some hot dog fingers.
It gives you some hot dog fingers. If you didn't notice the little fingers part, they call them hot dog fingers in the movie. But basically, Michelle Yeoh is kind of thrown into this situation where she finds out there's multiple universes, there's infinite space, and she has lived 1,000 lives, and she can access the skills in this any of these lives that she wants to. She just has to find a certain jump pad to unlock that particular life that she's looking for. Now, in the movie, they have a map. Like if she wants her martial arts skills, she has to tell Jamie Lee Curtis's character that she loves her in order to activate the jump pad to get her that life where she knows her kung fu skills. So, all the characters in the movie, they can do the same thing, obviously. They can move the jump pads, but they have to do certain things in order to access that particular universe.
And each jump pad's different for whatever they're doing. It's not just one jump pad does get you all your skills.
Mm-hmm.
If you want a certain one, you have to use a different type of jump pad to get there. One of the nastiest ones was somebody taking a piece of gum out from under a table and eating it.
Yeah, that was to unlock a jump pad. He had to pull the wad of gum out from under the desk and eat it. That activated. He also ate chapstick. That was another one that he did to activate a jump pad. But my personal favorite that made me laugh so hard, again, mature audience warning, was the jump pads that they had to use that were butt plugs. The jump pad that the kung fu enemies had to use were butt plugs, and the camera just pans to the butt plug on the desk, and they look at each other, and then they realize they have to use jump plug or the butt plug, and all of a sudden pants come down and they start flying through there, and they want to land on this butt plug. It was so hilarious. What do you think about the butt plug jump pads?
I don't know.
I told you I was going to talk about it, so here we are. Those who don't know me, I love to say outrageous things. So
that's for sure.
Don't be surprised. This happens with me a lot. I will say whatever at any time. So here we go. The jump pad butt plugs. That's Chris's response. Oh, it's so funny. And then there was another part after, was it her daughter that somebody beat a guard up with these great big long dildos that were like this long.
It was the bad person, supposedly, in the movie.
So, yeah. It had an interesting concept. Movies are starting to move towards the multiverse because that's what we're going through that phase on Earth now where we're evolving and we're raising our vibrations, and a lot of us are realizing there are multiverses and we exist in lots of them. I could be in 1,000 different universes at this very moment. Chris could be in 1,000 at this very moment. So movies are moving from the disaster type scenario movies, the end of the world movies, to now they're moving to multiverse movies, which I think is cool.
Depending on what they're doing.
Yeah. But this was unique because not only was it was interesting like Inception, and you really had to pay attention to understand what was going on. It was also very comical, and the fact that Michelle Yeoh was being this comedian, which I've never seen her be before.
Everybody likes everything, bagel, so.
Yeah. There is a bagel part in the bagel, but you guys just have to watch it to know what we're talking about. I highly recommend it because it is very funny, and I haven't laughed that hard in a while.
It's off the wall, but it's funny.
Chris and I actually laughed for a good half an hour after the movie was over, just recounting the funny things that happen in the movie. And that doesn't happen often. You don't normally sit and talk for a half an hour about movies when they're over.
Well, you can't help it when you get smacked with hot dog fingers.
There was a hot dog's finger. You guys saw that part where they were holding their fingers up. She ended up in a universe where everyone had hot dog fingers. She ended up in a universe where she was a rock with googly eyes. And there's this ongoing joke in the whole movie about those little googly eyes. Her daughter used to stick them on it. Or her husband used to stick the little googly eyes all over the laundromat that they owned. And she got mad and said, no more googly eyes. And she was throwing them, picking them off stuff. And then she ended up in a universe with a rock with googly eyes. So that's where the whole putting it on your forehead came from, which is what, towards the end of the movie, she evolved and she was kicking ass there. What do you think?
At certain points.
Once she got used to the jumping to the multiverses and accessing her different skills from her 1,000 lives. And then there was a good meaning behind it. Even had a little love plot to go with it.
One of the most disgusting jump pads was eating snot.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. She said, oh look, there's snot. And then she stuck it in his mouth and he used the jump pad after that. That was an activation. So yeah, guys, I recommend the movie if you want to laugh, if you want to introduce yourself to the multiverse plot. It is really funny.
I don't recommend eating snot. I don't recommend eating a piece of gum stuck under a table somewhere.
And there is martial arts in it because Michelle Yeoh is a martial arts master. Big props to Michelle Yeoh. I love her.
Do not do what they do with the jump pads.
No. You don't recommend it?
No.
Whew.
I have to say negative on that.
Negative Ghost Rider on that. All right, guys. So, I want to take this time to remind you, we are giving our YouTube subscribers and anyone who shares any of our podcast clips, we are giving you entries into our weekly subscriber giveaway. Every week, we're going to have at least 5 different gifts we're giving away. Random gifts to random subscribers. So if you are not a subscriber to our YouTube channel yet, go to YouTube and search for Q2 Paranormal. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the little bell at the top of the screen so that you'll be notified whenever we have new updates. If you are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media channels, you can share any podcast segment that we upload to YouTube. You can share it, and we will automatically give you 4 entries into these contests. Now, every Monday evening, we will take all the entries for the whole week, and we will randomly choose 5 of you to receive a gift. It could be anything from a glow-in-the-dark pen. It could be a lightsaber. It could be really cool pins. It could be makeup. It could be, let's see, last week, what did we give away? We gave away makeup. We gave away men's necklaces. We gave away, what else did we give away? Fingernail art glitter pins and confetti. So, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. You get an automatic entry. And then if you're already subscribed, all you have to do is share any podcast segment that you are interested in. Share it to your wall. We will find it. We will like it. Make sure it's a public post so that we can see it. And we will enter you into the contest. No purchase necessary. Free. Easy peasy. And every Friday night at 10 p.m., we will be in the podcast chairs, or we will be on location, depending on what we're doing this week. We are having a crystal show this weekend. Saturday night at 8 p.m., we are doing our Q2 Crystal Chambers show, where we educate and offer healing crystals and jewelry to our customers and our fans. This weekend we should have a special guest. He is a gamer, actor, voiceover. I'm not going to say his name. I want it to be a surprise. Hopefully you guys recognize. And we're also going to have some special cupcakes from Miss Loma from Loma Cakes and Catering. These things are about Ooh, that big?
The best way to describe these cupcakes is a cupcake for two.
Yes, a cupcake for two. They probably stand about that tall, and each one has filling. What does she have? Do you remember? She has Reese's,
Reese's,
banana pudding.
strawberry lemonade, Boston cream,
She has one called Twist and Shout.
blackberry cobbler.
Yes. Blueberry lemon.
I can't remember all the flavors.
There's just a round that is on top of ours, and you cannot yet perceive that. You cannot see that unless you have this special gift of being psychic. And that's what they talk about when they say the veil is lifted or the veil gets thinner. It is kind of like a veil. Our brains aren't open enough to perceive, most of us, they're not open enough to perceive what's here around us.
There are things you can do to thin the veil, but we won't get into that. Because if you're not skilled enough, you could do the wrong thing.
Well, there is a crystal wave. I'll get to that in a minute. But kind of like what is that? The spectrum of light colors. What is that called?
The spectrum, the visible spectrum.
The visible. There's a term for the light spectrum. Is it called a light spectrum?
Yeah.
All right, so it's just called the light spectrum. All right, I thought it was some scientific name, but anyways, the human eye can only see a certain number of those colors, and it's the same way with the spirit realm. You can only perceive what is meant to be perceived at the time. But now, in this day and age, the veil is getting a lot thinner. A lot of people are walking into their psychic gifts, and just like with paranormal shows, they're everywhere. There's this big heightened interest in the paranormal because people are catching it more because the veil is actually getting thinner as we're raising our vibration and we're going into that next energy level in that next dimension. The veil is really getting thinner, and it's really exciting to me because I come from a time where in my family, I wasn't even allowed to dabble in the paranormal. It was a taboo. It's something that, there's no ghosts, whatever, kind of like aliens. So it's really exciting. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Just you gotta be careful what you're doing. Don't let people talk you into doing things that you're not sure about, or if they're not technically or ready to deal with it, then you don't want to do things you're not ready for. Because you could go to a place you're not trying to get to.
Right. Well, Chris is our demonologist. You can tell because he's always giving the warnings to our users. Where I'm trying to give you the steps to do it, he's giving you the warnings, don't do it. So you can tell he's our demonologist in that aspect. So he's looking out for everybody. Now, in terms of crystals, there are crystals that can help you communicate with the divine. I'm going to call it the divine, the ones who have passed over, your loved ones. One crystal I can think of in particular is called celestite. It's very, very beautiful crystal, and it is held in high regard in terms of speaking and connecting to the divine. Also, meditation, I forgot about that. If you can get into meditation, and the better you get at it, you can actually contact people who have passed on.
There's a difference in meditation and falling asleep. Some people think they're meditating, but actually they doze off while they're doing it instead of actually meditating.
Mm-hmm.
They get too relaxed, and they put not just their physical body to sleep, but they put their mind to sleep. And your mind needs to be active when you're meditating.
Also, you can meditate with the celestite in your palm of your hands. That is a great way to do it. Also, another crystal is lapis lazuli, the crystal that Cleopatra took to the underworld with her. It also unlocks your psychic abilities and allows you, when meditating, to connect to the other realm. Can you think of anything else to put in there?
No, off the top of my head.
Again, for those of you who are interested in the crystals, go to our Q2 Crystals Chambers on Facebook. That's where all of our live shows are every Saturday night at 8 p.m. We also play bingo. And got anything else you want to talk about tonight?
I think that's good.
I think that's good. So we touched on Lizzy Borden, the Bell Witch,
Cecil Hotel.
the Cecil Hotel, passing on ghosts, how to connect with people who have passed on, how to cleanse your body and detox, and we even touched on the butt plugs.
Plus, we even talked about our favorite places we've investigated.
Mm-hmm.
The first ones we're talking about right now are the ones here local. We don't want to give away too much of what's going on.
Guys. Love ya. Bye.